Next slide is something that I think each and every one of us can get involved in. And I'm just going to spend a few minutes to talk about that. Today, you all use Uber, you use your phone, you turn on your GPS, you locate a driver. As the vehicle is coming closer to you, you can see it. What is really happening is that your mobile phone, not you, your mobile phone is communicating with something that the car is communicating with. Or, put it another way, the car is communicating with something that is communicating with you. I see a lot of friends of mine go running in the morning and they post on Instagram the fact that they covered 7 kilometers. But you can actually see the route they take. What happened? While you were running, something you had on you was communicating information about you to some software that could track your location, draw a map, and represent that to you. The Internet of Things is already here. And that, in my view, is where I think a lot of Nigerians, our youths, can really play. You don't need huge funding for that. Government policies may be useful, but not critical. What is important is what you see, what you know, and what you have. And what you need to have is a laptop with data and some knowledge about computer programming that you can learn online, irrespective of the course you read. And then you can become that individual that Mrs. Awoshika talked about, that can employ 2 people, 3 people, or 5 people. And that whole entrepreneurship thing we're talking about starts while we are waiting for government. Our situation is too critical that we really cannot wait for government, and that is my view. So while we are waiting for government to get things going, there are many things we can do to create jobs for ourselves and to create jobs for millions of Nigerians. Next slide. But I think you've gone, go back 2 slides. One more. Okay, I think there's a slide that's missing. The slide that is missing was one I wanted to use to explain how this Internet of Things works. Okay? And if you just bear with me, I'll try to describe that. Imagine you're at home and you've got the following devices in your house. You've got your wall or your sink. You've got your washing machine. The madam of the home is at work. She has a bank account. There's a company, a store not too far from your house. Okay? And back home, there's a leakage at home. And then the wall or your leaking sink sends a message to someone, a website, a worker, that we have a leakage at home. How did he know who to send the message to? It scanned the mobile phone address book of Madam while Madam was at work, and could tell that whenever we have this kind of problem, this is the handyman that Madam calls. So Madam gets a message saying that there's a fault at home, we would like to call the handyman. Madam clicks a button on her phone that says yes, go ahead. As soon as that happened, the washing machine quickly sends in a message, we need detergent. Why? Because he recognized that the last time Madam painted the house, she was very messy about it. She stayed a lot of things, and they had to put them in the washing machine to wash clothes. And it can see clearly that they don't have enough detergent at home. So the washing machine actually initiates a request for detergent. The request gets to the local shop that sends a message to Madam to confirm that yes, you want detergent shipped to your house. Detergent is shipped, gets to the house, is received. The handyman comes, fixes the house, sends a message back. The wall or the washing machine says everything is fine now, and that is it. This sounds very funny or strange, but that is what the Internet of Things is all about. Your mobile phone today can send information. Some of you have wearables that can send information. That same technology is put into your washing machine and everything you have at home, and they can basically send information. Some of us today can monitor our homes from our office using a mobile phone because of applications that were put out there. These are the opportunities that we see. When you go back to that slide that talked about unemployment, it is just not possible for government to create the employment we need in the time frame that we need to have it. Therefore, as citizens of this country, we need to think differently about how we can get ourselves employed. And all I'm saying this afternoon is that digital technology creates a low entry barrier for those of you who will invest time to understand what happens in that space, because that is where wealth is being created today. I'm not saying other areas are not creating wealth. I'm basically saying that technology gives you an easier route to take if you want to join this digital economy. Next slide. A few days ago, I was at an event where an organization was trying to look at the possibility of creating a fund to address entrepreneurs in technology in Africa. And a gentleman, a white man, came to me and he made a speech that I initially thought was patronizing, but later I realized that he was very genuine about it, and I was actually moved. He said, "Mitchell, InterSwitch must become Africa's truly first unicorn." What that means is that in the technology world, if you're a unicorn, it means that your valuation is $1 billion. And he said InterSwitch must become the first. Okay? And I said, why? He said one of the biggest challenges we face abroad when we try to tell people to bring funds into Africa is that they think it is paying back. We are telling them it's not paying back. We are saying that good stuff is happening in Africa. There are entrepreneurs who are doing very good things despite the challenges, and they can do well. That if we can come up with 1, 2, 3 unicorns, the word will go out there that a lot of things happen in Africa, and you'll be amazed by the amount of foreign investments that will chase those opportunities. The point I'm trying to make really is this. If you look at that list, all these companies are less than 10 years old, and all of them are over $1 billion in valuation. The only one that you can link to Africa is Africa Internet Group, AIG. These are the guys that own Easy Taxi, Lamudi, Jumia, Juvago, and stuff like that. A group of internet-related businesses. They are the only ones on that list. But the point is this: if Africa, if Nigeria, if anybody can do it in Africa, Nigeria can, with the assets that we have, with the population that we have. If we can put 2 or 3 on that list, the world will listen. And getting money to start up your business will not be a difficult thing. Let me pause a bit to tell you about InterSwitch and how we started, as a means of encouraging those of you who really feel you've got something burning inside of you and you want to make an impact that is a bit tough. Okay? When we had the idea to start InterSwitch, we did not think about our resources, what we had. In fact, any entrepreneur who has enough to chase the opportunity he wants to chase is truly not an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs never have what they need to chase their dreams. That's the first message you must get. I repeat, true entrepreneurs never have the resources they need to chase their dream. So if you are sitting down there today watching, listening, and you're wondering about all the opportunities out there and the fact that you do not have resources, you have passed the very first test. You need not have resources. Okay? But what did we do? We tapped into a fund that existed. Then it was called the Smiths Fund, Small Medium Enterprises Fund. where the central bank then said